You may find yourself in a coaching session where you ask a question and the coachee actually thinks it's a suggestion and says, "That's a good idea," or "Thanks for that tip or that advice." But you didn't mean it as such. You were being curious and asking a question. How did that happen? And how can we correct that? Let's talk about it. Now, as coaches, we know that we generally do not give advice. We don't make suggestions unless we're in a situation where we feel it would be really valuable for our client, and we've generally exhausted the client of their own ideas, and we have an idea bubbling up inside us that we think might be helpful to the client, and we would generally share it without detachment. But that's in the case where we're intent on giving a suggestion. There are other times where there seems to be this disconnect happening between the coach and the coachee, where the coach asks a question and the coachee takes it as a suggestion, formed as a question. How could that happen? Well, for example, recently I observed a coaching session, and this is exactly what happened. The coach asked a question. The client said that that's a great suggestion, talked about how they might honor that suggestion and what they could do as a next action, etc. After the session ended, I did a debrief and asked the coach if they thought that that was a suggestion. They were thinking of it as a suggestion and veiled it as a question, because we generally wouldn't want to do that. If we want to make a suggestion, we just come right out and give it as a suggestion. We wouldn't try and put it into question form. The coach said, no, they weren't thinking of it as a suggestion. The way it happened, I think, in retrospect, is that the question was too narrow. When the question is narrowly focused, such as, let's say the example is you would like to improve your working relationships with the people that you regularly interact with in the workplace. That could include your manager, your team, your peers, your manager's manager, a lot of different people. That's the topic. So then the coach says to the client, what do you think your manager would say as to how you could improve the relationship with them? Now, as the coach, I'm genuinely curious. That's an important relationship. It probably is one of the ones that the client is thinking of. Start there. The client takes that as a suggestion that they should first focus on improving the relationship with the manager. So they say, oh, well, that seems like a good idea. Maybe I could start with my manager. I wonder, what would my manager say? Yeah, I'm not sure. That is a good idea. I wasn't trying to tell them to do that, but because I narrowly framed the question, it can come across that way. How about broadening the question, such as, who do you think you should start with to start to understand how to improve a relationship? Then the coachee might say, I feel like maybe I should start with the manager. Then I could ask, what do you think your manager would say as to how to improve the relationship? See, I can ask the narrower question after starting with a broader question, which comes across as a question. So think about that when you're having coaching sessions with your clients, broadening out your questions to give them the opportunity to think of their own ideas, their own direction, so that it doesn't come across as a suggestion even when you didn't mean it that way. And in reality, even if you didn't mean it that way, unconsciously, you might have been thinking of that. By broadening out, it's hard. It's hard to make a suggestion when you make the question too broad to be a suggestion. I hope this helps you to improve the questions that you ask in coaching sessions and really stay in the coach's seat and not fall into the advice trap, so to speak. If this has been helpful to you, please like the video, comment on it if you have your own other ideas about how to avoid making suggestions erroneously in a coaching session, or how to just be more curious and come across as more curious, apart from the idea that I shared here. Love to hear it. If you'd like to learn more about executive coach training with me, please email me at michael@baerexecutivecoach.com. As a member of the faculty of the Center for Executive Coaching, I can introduce you to our various programs that work for different timelines, different budgets. I lead several programs within the CEC and can answer all questions. Of course, you can also go to the centerforexecutivecoaching.com and explore the opportunities there, including my next in-person seminar coming up in mid-March of 2024. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel because new videos are on the way to help you to be a more effective coach. Thank you.